Is it true that the Palestinians and Jewish people have always been enemies? Did Israel really make the desert bloom? Well, I'm here to talk about that along with several other misconceptions and common questions about Palestine, and I'll be talking about it while I do my makeup. So as you probably already know, Palestine has one of the most complex and long-standing histories in the world. It has been inhabited for tens of thousands of years and has been ruled by countless empires, including the Greeks, the Ottomans, the Romans, and yes, the Jews. Now this isn't surprising considering that archaeologists have found evidence of settlements in this region dating back to 9600 BCE, making it one of the oldest inhabited places in the world, even older than the Egyptian pyramids. Jericho, a city in Palestine, was one of the first human civilizations to develop fortifications and advanced agricultural systems. So this idea that Palestine was a lifeless swamp until Zionists came to colonize it less than 100 years ago is just not true. In fact, archaeological evidence shows that the transition from food collecting societies like gatherers to food developing societies like farmers started in the Fertile Crescent, which includes the city of Jericho, which is in modern day West Bank, which is Palestinian. So this means, ladies and gentlemen, that the agricultural development of the land in Palestine started from the inhabitants of Palestine and not from outsiders like, I don't know, European Zionists. In fact, the cultivators of the Fertile Crescent are considered to be the earliest farmers in human history, which are the indigenous people of that land. And their innovations actually spread from the Middle East into Europe. Now let's address another popular misconception, which is that the Palestinians and the Jewish people have always been fighting. This is entirely not true. In fact, there have been several periods of peace in Palestine between the Palestinians and the Jewish people, especially under the Ottoman Empire. For example, Jewish women would even turn to Muslim courts to get around divorce laws in their own communities because many women would marry at a young age and getting a get was very difficult, so they went to Muslim courts to help with that. And during the late 19th centuries, Jewish and Palestinian farmers would cultivate land together in order to help establish a unified community. And there was even a point where Arab and Zionist leaders agreed to have a binational state where Jewish people and Palestinians could coexist equally. Unfortunately, growing tensions over the land and the immigration policy under the British rule has led to the division and violence we have seen today. Now, another popular misconception about Palestine is that it was never a nation. Now, this is also not true. Palestine has been considered a geographic and cultural region for thousands of years. Historical records from the Greeks, the Romans, and the Ottomans have shown that Palestine was a very specific and defined region. And like I mentioned before, archaeological evidence shows that agriculture was produced by the indigenous people, and research labels those peoples as Palestinian. Now, another misconception that many people have is that this conflict is due to religion. And while religion does play a role, it is not the main cause of the violence and division that we see today. And like I mentioned before, many religious communities were able to coexist peacefully in Palestine for hundreds of years. And again, while religion does play a role in this, it is mostly politics and a power grab that plays a role in the division that we see today. Zionism, the movement behind the establishment of the Jewish state Israel, is religion politicized. And like any other movement that is powered by politics, power, and in this case land grabs, takes center stage over religious principles. In other words, religious political movements like Zionism or even Islamicism are created by people who interpret their religion often in a radical way, and they use religious members to power this movement and convince them that it is part of the religion to do so. If you're still following along and you know what I'm saying, comment your favorite fruit. Now, just like there's a misconception that this is a full-on religious conflict, there's also the misconception that all Palestinians are Muslim. And again, this is also not true. There is a significant Christian population in Palestine, notably in Ramallah and Bethlehem, and there are even Jewish communities who consider themselves as Palestinian Jews because they reject Zionism wholeheartedly. Now, under Palestinian government in Gaza and the West Bank, all religions are allowed to follow their religion freely and are able to celebrate their holidays and attend religious services. Now, that was a lot of information to unpack, so let me know in the comments if you learned anything new and what country or topic you want me to talk about next. I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, all sources in the comments.